Hi and hello. I hope all is well with you wherever you are in the world today, and welcome. This is Dune Imperium, and I am Admiral Trench. Today I'm going to be playing Kwisatz Haderach level difficulty, which means my opponents will begin with an intrigue card each and one water each. I will not be able to take a Swordmaster. And if I want to take the Mentat space, it will cost me 5 Solari as opposed to 2. I don't get to start the game with any resources. And if this game is something you'd like to see more of, please hit the subscribe button now. I will be playing this game early and often. Plus, this channel is really new and I'm working on a shoestring budget, but I've been saving my money and I've been putting it all toward this production, so the quality will only get better from here. With that being said, this is game 7, and I always like to start by looking at the Imperium row, but let's look at the first conflict. A skirmish for a Chom track movement and 1 spice for first place, and 3 Solari for second place. As a general rule, it's worth noting that fighting House Hagal in the first few rounds is always a mistake. You're gonna have a bad time. So I tend not to do it. But let's just see how this cookie crumbles. Over here on the Imperium row, I have Dr. Yue. He allows you to go to blue spaces and lets you draw 1 card during any of your agent phases. Ixian Engineer. He lets you go to triangle spaces and lets you buy a tech card when you use them during your agent phase. If you reveal him and you have 3 or more tech tiles, you could trash Ixian Engineer and get a victory point. The Bene Gesserit Sister allows you to go to Bene Gesserit spaces and green spaces, lets you get 2 persuasion points, or allows you to get 2 combat. Firm Grip, which is Emperor spaces and green spaces for 2 Solari. You can move up to any one of the faction tracks by 1, except for the Emperor track. And lastly, Assassination Mission, which if you trash that card, you would get 4 Solari, and if you reveal that card, you get 1 Solari, 1 combat. Also, it's worth noting with Firm Grip, I forgot to mention, if you happen to have the Alliance token, then you would have 4 Persuasion if you chose to reveal it. Okay, great. That's pretty cool. The last thing I wanted to do, and this is something I meant to take care of earlier, but I totally forgot. It must be... Yeah, that's right. Here it is. Here it is. Right, these are genetic markers. I wanted to write on the board that those are called genetic markers, so I would get the terminology correct when I was referencing it during the game. Another thing worth mentioning as well is that during the base game, playing House Hagal, if they happen to get 7 Solari, 7 Spice, they can cash that in and get a victory point. If they get 3 water, they cash those in to get a victory point. If they get 3 intrigue cards, they trash those in to get a victory point. But because we're playing with the planet Ix, instead of exchanging spice for a victory point, they hoard their spice for the sole purpose of buying technology cards over here on the right-hand side at the planet Ix, which I will now tell you what we have. It's artillery for 1 spice. During a reveal turn, you get 1 combat for each revealed card that provides 1 or more combat this turn. Disposal facility for 3 spice. When you buy it, you can trash a card. During your reveal turn, if you have 6 or more persuasion, you may trash one of your cards in play. And last but not least, for 5 spice spaceport, which when you buy it, you get to draw 2 cards. You may put cards you acquire on top of your deck. Okay, cool. Right on. Yeah, so that's all there is to the rules of the game. So let's get into it, shall we? Oh yeah, there's one more little detail about playing Kwisatz Haderach level difficulty, and this is pretty much the big one. During the third round, House Hagal gets their Swordmasters. So that makes it especially dangerous. I'm gonna shuffle my deck and get started. Okay, here we go. Let's get into this game. My first turn is utter trash. I've got Seek Allies, 2 daggers, and a reconnaissance, plus a convincing argument. So I will begin this agent phase 1 with 3 persuasion points. The first thing I like to try to do is get a high council seat as soon as possible. How do I go about achieving that is a question to consider at this moment. The card I want more than any of them is Firm Grip. I am Count Ilban Richis, and so whenever I pay for the cost of a board space, I get to draw a card. Plus, if I use my signet ring, I get 1 Solari. Having Solari is something I might have a lot of this game, so Firm Grip will come in especially handy for me to get these factions up the board. Seek Allies tends to do best if I take a fold space. And I suppose I might just do that now and get it out of the way. So Seek Allies, and when this is used, it's trashed immediately. And I'll take one of my agents and put it on fold space. I will move my tracker up 1. And that's it for me. Let's move on to Moritani, who will go to Carthag. She goes here, and she gets 1 troop into her garrison. And because it's a combat space, she puts in 3 troops, putting her at 6 combat points. Now we're going to go to the Beast Raban. He cannot go to Carthag. He will take Research Station here. And he moves his tracker 2 spaces, which gets him an intrigue card. If he gets 1 more of those, he'll have a victory point. It's a combat space, so 3 of his troops go into combat. I beg your pardon, 2 of his troops go into combat, leaving 1 behind. That's going to put him at 4 combat. And it goes to me, and we're moving to Agent Phase 2. My next move was to go to Carthag, but I suppose I'll go to Arrakeen. It's just... Actually, if I go to tech negotiation, I would get 1 additional persuasion point, which would put me at 4 persuasion point for my reveal phase, so I could afford Firm Grip. So I could do that. I might do that, because going to Arrakeen to draw a card, what good would that do? I don't have any more agents, and you know, the next set of cards I'm probably going to need to utilize for the next agent phase, so I don't want to do that. And yeah, so I'm going to use my dagger and take tech negotiation and put this in my play area down here, move my agent over here, move my persuasion tracker up to 4, and call it a day. and we'll move back to Moritani. What she want to do? She's now going to take a Rakeen and use her Signet Ring ability, but for her, there is nothing she can do because her Signet Ring only allows her to spend 7 Solari. You know what? Come to think of it, I don't think. Let me double check something. I might have to quickly change this out because I want to make sure that I'm not breaking House Hagal rules. I drew these characters at random. Her ability seems to be broken, right? Because if she gets 7 Solari, she spends it for a victory point. Okay, so here we go. Additions to solo rules. Blah 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 blah. Let's see. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So no reference here. So let's take a look at this one. Yeah, it looks as though you cannot play as her. So I'm going to quickly change her character out for a new one. And it's just going to be totally random because it says she's not compatible against House Hagal. So I guess we'll just play against, we'll just do the Duke, no, not Duke, Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. Sorry, I don't know why I'm not able to say that correctly. I just grabbed that at random. So we'll move that out. I apologize for the mix-up. I will have to mark those cards some way so that I can easily be able to get this going sooner and faster without any complications. Alrighty then. So the other thing I'm doing right now is putting a fan on because it is bloody hot in my garage. Okay, here we go. I think that ought to do the trick. So, where are we at now? Okay. It was Harkonnen's turn. He went to a Rakeen, and he got a Signet Ring. He doesn't have any Solari, so he doesn't get that ability, but he gets to put a troop into his garrison, and it's a combat space, so these 2 troops enter combat, and he's sitting at 10 combat points now. We will now go to the Beast Raban. Still suits. And he moves his tracker up 1, and that's all he does. Now we will go to my reveal phase. So I have 4 persuasion, and yes, I will buy firm grip and move everything over to my discard pile. I have these cards sitting on a little stand, on a little dice, so that they're angled forward a bit. I wanted to make sure there was no glare on the card. Right on. Happy with that purchase. Now let's get into combat. Harkonnen. He blanks out at 10. Raban, Hardy Warriors. That's a huge improvement, but will it be enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just shy by 1. So Harkonnen gets 1 spice and a movement on the Chom track by 1. As per the rules, playing solo, the rivals, playing House Hagal, they always only go up to the 2nd track mark on the Chom track. And then they go back down and collect all the benefits. So here's his 1 spice, good for him. And Raban gets 3 Solari. All right, the winnings have been resolved. We will now put spice out onto the board. Returning the combat trackers. Returning all troops to the supply. Yeah, see what I mean by House Hagal being especially dangerous in the opening rounds? There's no way I would have been able to take them. We're going to flip the next conflict card. Oh, the Siege of Arrakeen. Moving into round 2. We're going to return the Persuasion tracker to 1. We're now going to roll the Imperium Row dice. I'll re-roll that one only because it fell off the board. So we got 2, 2. So Ixian Engineer is gone out of the game, permanently excommunicated, and will be replaced with Liet Keens. When you buy her, you get to move your Emperor track up by 1. She allows you to go to Fremen spaces, and you get 2 additional persuasion for each Fremen card you have in play, including this one. That's a powerful card. It's a very powerful card. I'm not going to lie. That could be good with my firm grip. Okay, now let's return all of the agents back to their home positions. And let's begin this next round. Count, I keep saying that, Baron Vladimir Harkonnen will go first. Let's get into it. He will take a Dreadnought to open his round. Dreadnoughts. You know what? I'm looking at these and I'm wondering why it is. I just replaced the batteries. They're brand spanking new. So I'm like, why does it seem to be not letting off such a powerful glow as I would want? You know what? He's just going to take his Dreadnought. We'll deal with that later. I'll fix it another time. I've gotten distracted too much this game. He gets to put his Dreadnought here. He doesn't have enough spice for a... Actually, I take that back. No. He doesn't have enough spice for any of these tech cards because they don't have the House Hagal icon in the bottom right-hand corner. So instead, what's going to happen is he puts a tech negotiator in its place. Yeah, that's how that works. Now, I want to double check and make sure that this is correct because I could see this being an easy mistake I'm making. What I want to find out is, what do you do in the case where all of the tech cards do not have the House Hagal icon on the bottom right-hand corner? Do you just exchange it? Let's see here. It says... If you go to tech negotiation, this card is described in the tech tiles section. Okay, so if you're playing a solo game, rivals can acquire tech tiles, but only those that are marked with a small House Hagal icon in the lower right corner. If at any time there are no face-up tech tiles with that mark on any of the stacks, trash the tile from the largest stack and reveal a new one. If multiple stacks are tied for the largest, trash the tile from the topmost stack. Okay, so there you have it. This tech tile gets trashed, and a new one is revealed in its place. Revealing training drones, tap this tech tile to get 1 agent. So he has a tech negotiator in that space. So we are moving on now to the beast Raban. He goes to selective breeding and he increases his tracker up by 1 in that space. It now goes to me. I've got convincing argument, 2 experimentations, a signet ring, and diplomacy. So let's see, I've got 2, 4, 6 total persuasion to begin this round. And yes, what I would like to do is I could take my, I could take experimentation, go to smuggling. I'd like to move my chome tracker as soon as possible so I can get that Solari. I want to get a High Council seat ASAP. Then I'm going to use my signet ring, but where will I go? You know, it's funny. I just realized that here's my discard pile. When I went to fold space, I never put a fold space card in my discard pile. That would have been a letdown. Okay, that has been taken care of. Okay, experimentation. That's what I want to do. I'm going to use this card, put it in my play area, move my agent over to smuggling, get myself a Solari, and move the chome tracker up 1 movement. Then, because I used experimentation, I get to move my researcher tracker up by 1, which allows me to put a specimen in the axolotl tank. And there you have it. That's my turn. We will now move from Agent Phase 1, which I got to remember to move this, to Agent Phase 2, Harkonnen. He's going to take fold space. He's going to move his tracker up 1, and then we're going to go to the Beast Raban. Still suits for this dude. He goes here, and he moves his tracker up 1 and gets himself a victory point. It is a combat space, so he pushes this bad boy in there and puts himself at 2. And wow, this is leaving me open for a combat that I could take and win a victory point and take Arrakeen. And I don't think, I think it would be silly of me not to take this opportunity, only because they are out of agents. House of Gaul's all out of agents. I don't have to worry about them putting in any more troops into the combat space. The only thing I have to be fearful of is the Beast Raban. But he only has 2 points, so I feel like I can get him, because if I go to Carthag now, I'll be able to use my Signet Ring ability and get a free Solari, get an intrigue card, put a combat in. I'd be able to put 3 troops in, so I feel like I could easily win this combat, and it's just too easy. The low-hanging fruit here is just too good to pass up. So just to make it clear, I'm sitting right now at 5 Solari. I'm sorry, not 5 Solari, 5 Persuasion. And yeah, Signet Ring, going to take Carthag, going to generate a troop into my garrison and put 3 troops into combat, putting me at 6 combat points, and get an intrigue card. Blackmail, lower one of my faction trackers down 1 for 5 combat points. So I might have to do that in desperation if this guy takes me. So now we're going to go to reveal phase for me, because the next thing to do is to get into combat. And I am sitting now with 4 total persuasion. And I have a specimen I can put into the axolotl tank with my experimentation card. With 4 persuasion, what do I want? Bene Gesserit's sister is interesting. That will help me generate Spice Must Flow down the road if necessary. But I'm not going to lie, Liet Keynes I can't afford right now. But if I did buy her, say, next round, maybe getting Arrakis Liaison is a better strategy, only for the sake of getting Persuasion, which would help me get Spice Must Flow cards for victory points. Something to think about. The Beast Raban is going to be difficult to overtake in combat down the road from now. So do I want to go combat? Hmm. Hmm. Maybe the smarter move is to... Yeah, I'll take Bene Gesserit's sister only because I want to be able to move about these alliance trackers more easily. So that allows me to go to Bene Gesserit spaces, and it's only worth 3, and I'm at 4 persuasion. So I'm going to do Bene Gesserit's sister, put this in my discard pile, and reveal the next card. Okay, Spiritual Fervor allows you to move the researcher tracker by 1 when you purchase the card, but it only allows you to go to triangle spaces, and like in experimentation, it gives you 1 persuasion and lets you put a specimen in the axolotl tank upon the reveal phase. So now we're going to go into the combat phase. Here is where it's going to get hairy. The Beast Raban blanks out, so I'm going to take this victory. I'm going to put a flag over here on Al-Rakim and move my tracker up 1. The Beast Raban will get 4. Wow, he's going to get 4 Solari, which means he just got himself a victory point as well. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 5, so he just got 4 Solari for winning this. So 4, 5, 6, 7. All 7 of his Solari are going back to the bank to give him a victory point. Look out, he is taking the world by storm, already at 2 victory points in the second round. We got to look out for this guy. All right, the winnings have been resolved, so now we're going to take the spice and put it back out onto the board, and now it's becoming kind of crazy not to take one of these desert spaces. I'm going to need to do that next turn. All right, return the combat trackers. Return troops to their supplies. Flip the conflict card, moving it around 3. That means that they get their sword masters now. Let's see, yeah. Return the persuasion tracker. Roll the Imperium Row dice. 6 and 5. 6s are always ignored, of course. That means the Freighter Fleet card is going... Oh, no, that's the 4th card in the row, not the one I had initially thought. This is the 5th card in the row. That card gets excommunicated. And Lady Jessica enters the battlefield. Oh, my God. I've got to get a High Council. I've got to get a High Council. I've got to get that card. How do I do that? Wow, I've got to get Lady Jessica. Okay, so now let's return this back. I'm going to move the tracker here to the Beast Raban, who will begin the next turn after I return, of course, all of the agents. It's going to start getting really hairy now because 3 agents for them, and I'm only allowed to use 2. Shuffling my discard pile now. I'm glad that I got the blackmail card, though. I am glad I got that, because if I get into a little bit of a situation, I'll be able to find my way out of it a little bit more easily in the combat. Okay. So opening up this round, I've got 2 daggers begging me to get into combat. A convincing argument, experimentation, and a fold space. Wow, that does not look fun. You know what I could do, though, if I really... Because, I mean, I really want Lady Jessica, right? And, like, I don't have... I'm talking starting this round with only 3. Golly. Okay, so what could I do? Be done. What could be done is, when it gets to be my turn, take experimentation, go to the smuggling space, move my Chome tracker down, get all my Solari, then immediately take High Council. And that would only bump me up 2, and then I just have to cross my fingers that Lady Jessica is still in the Imperium row at the end of this round, available for purchase. Otherwise, I will be missing a massive opportunity, and that would just be awful. I'm going to maintain my fold space card, actually, because that will come in handy later. For now, I need to focus on High Council. So let's get this rolled out. The Beast Raban will take Conspire. And he moves his tracker up 1 and gets himself 2 troops in his garrison. That's it for him. Now it goes to me. And my plan was to use experimentation and go to smuggling. Right here, get myself a Solari. And it's worth noting that when I had used my Signet Ring ability, I didn't give myself a Solari, so I should be sitting at 3. I'm going to move this down and get 8 Solari. So I now have 11 Solari. And it's going to go to Harkonnen now. Oh, I got to move my, as per the experimentation card, I'm going to move my tracker here and move my Twi'leksu track up 1 as per the space commands. All right, now we're going to go to Vladimir Harkonnen. He takes Carthag, and it's a combat space, so he generates himself, ooh, and it's a really good Carthag card too. He generates himself a troop. He moves his Twi'leksu tracker up 1, and he excommunicates the Beguiling Pheromones card out of the Twi'leksu row and reveals subject X-137. Okay, cool. If I spend 2, I might just do this. If I spend 2 specimen, I would immediately get to move my Twi'leksu track up 1. And if I make it to the first genetic marker here, I would get to move my Twi'leksu track once again every time he's used during an agent phase, but he only lets you go to green and triangle spaces. So how well will that be utilized? I can't say for sure. Something to think about, but not on the front of my mind. Right now, all I can think about is Lady Jessica. Okay, so he pushes his troops into combat. That's going to put him at 5 combat points. And now it's going to go to the Beast Raban, who's going to harvest spice. What a jerk! He takes 5 spice. I'm just going to give him a 5 chip for spice because he took the Great Flat. And of course, it's a combat space, so he pushes in 2 combat troops, which puts him at 4 combat points. Excellent. Very cool. Now it's going to go to me, and I'm going to maintain my original strategy using a dagger to go and take the High Council. And here is my High Council throne right there, which leaves me, of course, only with 4 persuasion at the end of this round, which is not impressive at all. It's unfortunate, really, that I couldn't get more, but I'm just going to have to cross my fingers that Lady Jessica will be available for me later. Let's see. Golly, that was such a good card. It'd just be such a shame I couldn't do it. So that, of course, is now Agent Phase 2. I just realized that we forgot to move that tracker, so let's go to Harkonnen, who takes Tech Negotiation over here. It's not a combat space, but can he afford to buy anything? He has a negotiator in there. So he has, yes, he can afford to buy this at discount 1 negotiator and 1 spice. For 2 spice, he can buy this 3 tactile training drones. So this will just go over into his space, and we'll reveal the next tactile. 4 spice for 2 intrigue cards. End game, you win tiebreakers. That's a cool card. It's crazy that I haven't taken any of these desert spaces, but it is what it is. Let's move forward to Agent Phase 3. Arachine. I get 1 Solari because I have a flag here. I forgot to spend my 5 Solari getting the, 5 Solari getting the High Council, so I'll just put that back now. I'm sitting on 7 Solari, so that's pretty nice. And because he took Arachine, he gets to generate a troop. It is a combat space, and because he is the Beast Raban, he gets to utilize his Signet Ring ability, and he generates yet another troop, putting it into combat. So that's going to move him from 4 to 8 combat points. That's pretty brutal. Now it's going to go to me, and I'm going to take my reveal turn for 4 persuasion points. What do I want to do for 4 persuasion points? I will buy Spiritual Fervor only so I could move this tracker up 1 and put a specimen in the... Yes, that's what I could do. And yeah, I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Buy Spiritual Fervor for 3. That's going to put me at 1. And when I do that, I get to move my researcher track by 1. So I'll go here. I will, as per the rule of the space, move my Twi'leksu road tracker 1, and there's an intrigue card here, so I'll get to take an intrigue card. Oh, how nice. Lose 2 of your troops in the conflict. I get to move my Twi'leksu tracker up 1 and get 2 specimen. But I also get to put a specimen in the Oxalotl tank because of this space right there. So now I'm sitting at 3 dudes. And what do I want to do with those specimen? I could spend the specimen. I could spend 3 of them and push forward my Twi'leksu row. That's what I'm going to do. Move this forward 1 more. That's the green one. Whoops. Yeah, push that forward 1 more. And yeah, I'm only 1 away from getting that victory point in the 2 spice. So that's looking pretty nice. I like that. And right on. I'm looking good. I'm really looking good. I'm liking this, especially with this. I'm really liking that. Yeah, I'm really liking this. I can get a victory point next round if I get involved with some combat. All right, now we're going to go back to Agent Phase 3 to finish out Harkonnen's turn, and he's going to take Secrets. He goes here, he moves his tracker up 1, and that's it for him. Now we're going to get into combat. How does it resolve itself? Let's find out. The Beast Raban, he increases his power by 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, then it's going to go back to Harkonnen, and he increases his power by 3, and it's just not enough. He's at 8 versus 11, so that means that the Beast takes 6 Solari. He's 1 away from yet another victory point. It's pretty vicious. It's getting pretty vicious. And Raban, I'm sorry, not the Beast Raban, Harkonnen, they are related after all. He's going to get 4 Solari. And that's a wrap for round 3. So the winnings have been resolved. We will put Spice out on the board. I really, really need to take the Imperial Basin next turn. I'll get 4 Spice for it. That has to be done. And we will return the combat trackers. Return all troops to their supplies. And as per the rules, dreadnoughts don't go back to the garrison. He takes this space here for the time being. Flip the next conflict card and move this round forward. Desert Power, round 4. We're going to go back up to Agent Phase 1. I'll be able to start this next round, so I'm looking forward to that. And return the persuasion tracker. I get to start with 2 persuasion. And we're going to roll the Imperium Row dice. Please, Lady Jessica, stay in combat with us. Let's see what this is. Ah, the Imperial Spy. Stay with us, Lady Jessica. 1 and 4. Whoa, so dangerously close. So dangerously close. Dr. Yue, the traitor, and Freighter Fleet, they are going to be excommunicated out of the game. We are looking at In the Shadows, and we are looking at high priority travel. In the Shadows lets you go to green and blue spaces, and if you have 2 influence with the Bene Gesserit, you can discard a card and choose 1 Emperor, Spacing Guild, or Fremen to increase the faction by 1 point. It also is I do believe it's called, what is that phrase called? Upload? I'm saying it wrong. I know I am. Unload, not upload. Unload ability, which means when you use it, you automatically get, you have to either discard a card or trash a card, or just merely use the card. It is triggered upon its use. You will have to increase your Bene Gesserit tracker up 1 every time. So In the Shadows, good card. Want that. Imperial Spy is always interesting because it entices you, it incentivizes you to use it at a wealth space for an intrigue card. Lady Jessica is still number 1. She's got to be purchased ASAP. Okay. We're moving forward with the game, and I'll begin the next round. So all the red guys go back to their home positions. All the green guys go back to their home positions. And the 2 lonesome blue guys go back to my home position. They are totally out of combat troops. So this next one is going to be wide open. Let's see how it resolves. I'm now going to put my discard pile to the side and draw my next 5 cards. Okay, what are we looking at here? Firm Grip. That looks really good. I absolutely must use experimentation to take the Imperial Bazit and get 4 spice and just get that out of the way. I'll push in a troop. I kind of want to use Gruesome Sacrifice right away. So I would use then my, oh, you know what's funny? I lose this benefit entirely. When I purchased High Council, I didn't draw a card, which is what I was supposed to do. That's really unfortunate because I wonder if I would have been able to afford. No, there's nothing I could have done to get Lady Jessica because I was sitting at 4 persuasion. So the best that would have come from it is I get like 2 additional persuasion or something, and that would just been 6. It's not enough. So it doesn't matter. But in any case, still, I might have, for all we know, drawn an experimentation. I could have put a specimen. There's benefits that I could have gotten, and I forgot to do it. So it's my fault. I'll have to eat that cost. So to begin this round, I'm going to use experimentation. And the reason why I want to use experimentation is because I want to try to get this Twi'leksu road tracker moving as soon as possible to get that victory point and the 2 spice. So yeah, if I use this, I go to the Imperial Basin, I would get 4 spice, but also Harkonnen gets 1 spice because of his dreadnought being right there, but I get 4 spice. And because I use experimentation, I move this up 1 and then 1 again as per this command, and I get 1 Solari. If I can get 1 more troop into the combat, I can utilize this and get that victory point and put in 2 specimen to the Oxalotl tank, which is why I'm thinking as soon as possible, I'd like to, cross my fingers, find a way to get involved in combat if possible. I have, blue spaces I need to utilize, so Let's just hope Carthag and Iraqine are available for me. Options are limited, but that's where I can go. Okay, so let's move forward now to Harkonnen. What does he want to do? Taking Highliner, extremely dangerous. Big move. He gets a victory point. And he generates 3 troops into his garrison, and they go into combat. So I'm sitting at 2, and he's sitting at 6. The Beast Raban will take Fold Space, and that's his first movement in the Spacing Guild track. And now it goes to me. We're moving to Agent Phase 2. What do I want to do? Taking Carthag. Or no. No. Let me look at how many persuasion I have right now. 2, 4. I'm sitting at 6. Yes, so 2, 4, 6, 7. I'm sitting at 7 right now. And if I go to Iraqine, I could draw a card, which I will do, and then I'll have enough to buy Lady Jessica. Yes, awesome. So when I use Signet Ring, my persuasion goes back down to 6. Do I have both of my daggers in my discard pile? Yes, I do. Thank God. Because I don't have to worry about not drawing a persuasion point. And I'm going to take her and move her here. I will get a Solari because I have a flag there. Golly, I'm getting a ton of Solari this game. And I will draw a card. It's a reconnaissance. So there goes my persuasion up to 7. I'll be able to buy Lady Jessica. Yes! And I can generate a troop and put it into combat. Boom, puts me at 4. So I'll be able to utilize Gruesome Sacrifice. Oh my God, this is so awesome. I'm just so stoked right now that everything's working exactly how I want. Okay, so that's it for my agent phase. Let's go back up to Harkonnen. He takes Tech Negotiation all the way over here. And what does he do? He gets -1 spice on any tech tile he wants to buy, but he can't afford anything. He cannot afford anything. So instead what he does is he puts a Tech Negotiator in this space. And we move forward to the Beast Raban. He's going to take Carthag. He goes here. He generates himself a troop, and he puts it into combat, which puts him at 2 combat points. It goes to me, my reveal phase. Just so everyone can see, I have 2, 4, plus 2 from High Council. That's 6, plus Reconnaissance. This card doesn't do anything for me. And that's 7 persuasion. I will now buy the Lady Jessica. But let me make sure that I'm not missing out on anything. Nope, I am not. Okay, Lady Jessica is being purchased. And when you buy Lady Jessica, you get to move 1 tracker. And I do believe I'm going to move the Emperor track up 1. Golly, I have 4 persuasion, so I could take Conspire. Anyways, Lady Jessica has now been purchased. She's going straight to my discard pile. Let's see what happens next. Dissecting Kit. It's a grafting card. I don't tend to like those. But when you do graft it, trash the card it's grafted to, and you get to put a specimen in the Oxalotl tank. If you have 1 genetic marker space, when you reveal it, you get to move your Twi'leksu track. So that's cool because maybe I'll buy it just to reveal it because I'm already past the first genetic marker. Yeah, maybe I'll buy it just to reveal it regularly. But In the Shadows is still useful, and I need to do that. Golly. Okay. Let's get into Agent Phase 3. It's going to go to Harkonnen, who harvests spice. So he goes here. He gets himself, oh my goodness, 5 spice, and he's at 6 spice right now. He's only 1. Oh wait, he doesn't spend spice on victory points. He hoards spice. Okay. And now it goes to the Beast Raban. Selective breeding. He goes here and he gets himself a victory point. And that's all that is. So Now that combat is initiated, we will move forward to the combat phase immediately. Gruesome sacrifice. I will gladly sacrifice these 2 troops, put them in the specimen oxalotl tanks, and move my tracker 1, take 2 spice. I now have 6 spice. I could take Highliner. Gotta do it. Then move my victory point tracker up 1. Yes. I'm so glad I took that. And I feel like this is not that far away either. So it's looking good so far. If I move here, yes, if I move here, don't I have a card that lets me... That's right. Okay, I see what's going on now. Okay, so what I might do, it's my... Yes, it is. It is my... It's combat phase right now. It's not reveal phase. But subject X137 over there on the Twi'leksu row, if I reveal it during an agent phase, I could bump up my Twi'leksu tracker 1. And if I buy dissecting kit, every time that gets revealed, I would bump it up 1. I need to get that victory point at the end there. And I also, yes. But once that's sort of maxed out, those cards become useless for the most part. I feel like I might be overindulging in Twi'leksu row or Twi'leksu track cards. In the Shadows is still extremely important, and I think that's something I don't want to lose sight of. What I might do is on the next turn, buy myself... I'm probably going to have a lot of persuasion, so I could buy an In the Shadows, Dissecting Kit, Imperial Spy. But if I get here with a Researcher track, I'm going to bump up my Emperor track and be done with it, because I don't want to use the Emperor track. I don't like these 2 spaces. They're mostly useless to me. So I'll get the victory point up there and just be done with it for the rest of the game. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. Okay, so combat needs to be resolved. So where are we? Raban did his last turn at selective breeding, and then it went to me. So now Harkonnen is going to reveal 2 points. He puts himself at 8 combat, and Raban moves up 3. 1, 2, 3. It's just not enough to do anything. Okay, so Harkonnen's going to get a victory point. That's going to tie him with me, but he also gets a water. He's only 1 water shy of a victory point. The beast Raban, he gets 1 water. That puts him at 2, and he gets 1 spice for taking 2nd place. That's 6 spice for the guy. All right, the winnings have been resolved, and now we put spice out onto the board. Great Flat is the only place worthy of gaining more spice. And we will now return the combat trackers. My combat went to 0. Return troops to their supplies. This guy goes right back up here, and this guy goes over here. We're going to flip the conflict card, moving forward into the 5th round, and this is a nice one. I definitely think I'm going to try to win this one. I don't think I'm going to go to Highliner yet, but it would be essential that I attempt to win this one. So how would I go about doing that? I don't have any troops in combat, but I do have to worry about this 1 troop. So it's not entirely wide open. Okay, so we've moved forward to the 5th round. Reset the persuasion tracker. I begin each round with 2 persuasion, and we roll the Imperium row dice. 3 and 4. 3 and 4. Imperial Spy and High Priority Travel. 2 cards I wasn't terribly interested in, so my options are still good. We've got Landing Rights and Planned Coupling. It's a graft card and lets you go to Bene Gesserit spaces. Not super interesting. I'm so glad I got Lady Jessica. Okay. So I have to now shuffle my discard pile and draw 4 cards, because I have 1 card left in my deck. Firm grip is good. I need to use that. Ah, boy. Yeah, I'll have to go to what green space? I could use the Mentet. Yeah, I could use the Mentet. I could spend 5 of my. I have a ton of Solari, so I have 5, and then I would have 4 Solari left. And so if I used Firm Grip to take the Mentet, I would then be able to spend a two Solari to jump up a tracker, whichever one I want. And truth be told, it's probably going to be Bene Gesserit. Or maybe it would be, maybe what it would do instead is I would bump my, yeah, maybe what I would do is I would bump my Fremen track, so I'd go to Still Suits, get some water, and get a victory point. Yeah, I could do that. Then I would have some water for stuff. But I need to get involved in this combat, so what could I do? What could I do? What could I do? Maybe what I would do instead is, yeah, what I could do is, here's what I'm thinking. Yeah, first round, take the Mentet. Bump my Spacing Guild track up 1, get a victory point. Then, with Diplomacy, go to Highliner, get a bunch of troops into Waters. I could get into this combat then. Why would that be good? I'll tell you why. Because at that point, I'll have this tracker up 3, but then if I use Blackmail, it would go back down to 2. And I would still be where I am with my other 2 tracks, which I feel like is good. And then I could definitely win this combat with only a few troops, because 5 combat points goes a long way at this point in the game. So I feel like that's a good strategy, and I'm going to do it. Okay, but beginning this round is going to be Harkonnen, and I need to return all these agents. I've completely spaced it on that. Return the agents. All right, Harkonnen. I rolled the Imperium Road dice. We returned the agents, and here we go. Fold space. Thankfully, he didn't take Highliner. Boom. That's all he does. Now we go to the Beast Raban. He takes a Rakeen, and he utilizes... Oh, I get a Solari, because that's a flag there. Nice. Now I have 10 Solari. And what he does is he generates himself 1 troop. He doesn't have an alliance coin, so he doesn't get more than 1, but he gets to give himself an additional troop for the ability of his Signet Ring, and he pushes them into combat because that is a combat space. And now it goes to me, and so yes, to begin this round, I'm going to use Firm Grip, and that means I'm going to go to the Mentet space for 5 Solari, and because it's an agent phase, I could spend an additional 2 Solari, leaving me at 3 Solari, to bump my tracker 1 here, get a victory point, and take the Mentet space here, take my Mentet. Great. And now it's going to go to Agent Phase 2. Forgot to move that darn tracker. Agent Phase 2. Alrighty, Harkonnen. He's going to go to Conspire. He's still not involved in any combat yet. He bumps his tracker up 1. That's the first time he's used the Emperor track, but he gets 2 troops in his garrison, and they remain in his garrison because he's not involved in any combat. The Beast, what do you want to do? He's going to take Smuggling. So all that does for him is move his Chom track up 1. He's got 2 troops in this combat, so I feel like I'm in a position now where I could take the win if I do this correctly. So, right, what did I want to do? Correct, that's what I said I wanted to do. I'm going to use diplomacy now. We've gotten into, this is agent phase 2. Yeah. I'm going to take diplomacy and I'm going to use highliner and spend 6 spice. All 6 of my spice. But I'm going to get 2 water. And that's going to be good because down the road I could take hardy warriors. And I'm going to bump my tracker up 1. And I'm going to take 5 troops and put them into my garrison. And yes, I'm going to get into combat with not all 2, 4, 6, 8 combat points. I feel like that's pretty solid. I'm in a race now for this alliance coin if I don't end up needing to use this blackmail. What good would that do me? Goodness gracious. Let's think about this. What are the odds? Well, that round is over. So it is what it is. I got to live with my decisions. All right, I was just thinking about whether or not I wanted to utilize this blackmail. What I might do is put 1 troop back, put me at 6. And then, yeah, I could do this and use it. Save myself a troop. That could be good, so I might just do that. Okay, anyways, let's get to Harkonnen for Agent Phase 3. What does he want to do? Harvest spice. That's the great flat for him. That's going to give him 4 total spice, so I will just give him another 5 and take back 1 of his spice. Golly, he's got a ton of spice. It is a combat space, so 1, 2, oh my goodness. I made a mistake. He's at 5, 7, so he's beating me in this combat. I'm going to have to use blackmail. Great. Okay, now we are going to use the beast to harvest spice, but there is no spice to harvest, so we got to draw another card out of House Hagal, which means I got to draw a card again, and I got to shuffle this. I really want to win this combat because I would like to bump up my Emperor track and never think about it again for the rest of the game. I hate the Emperor track. Like, I almost never need to use those spaces. Raban, what do you want to do? Arakeen, it's already taken. Conspire is already taken. Fold space is already taken. Conspire is already taken. Still suits. Okay, that's something you can do. And he bumps his tracker up 1, and that's all it is because he doesn't have any more troops he can enter into the combat. Now it's my turn for the 3rd agent phase, and I still have a signet ring. This is good because I'll be able to get another Solari, and I can go to Carthag, which is still wide open. So I'll do that. Take my Mentek, go to Carthag, generate a troop. I'm going to push 2. Goodness. That put me at 8 to 10. Yeah, I feel like that's what I'm going to do. And I get a Solari as per the rule of my signet ring ability. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to end up using blackmail, which is fine with me. It's fine with me. I've almost used all of my troops from Highliner, but that's okay. I got 2 water out of it and a victory point. And so, yeah, I also get an intrigue card. So let's see what that does for me. Oh, yes, that will definitely come in handy down the road. That will definitely come in handy down the road. Amazing. Good pull right there because I've got 4 Solari. So that's definitely going to come in handy. Okay, great. Now we're going to get into my reveal phase. So I have a dagger, so I can push myself up 1 point, and I have 4 total persuasion. And what do I want to buy with 4 persuasion? In the Shadows will not be useful to me right now because it doesn't do anything as long as I don't have any of my tracker on the Bene Gesserit track up. I need 2 there. So what was the other one I said I wanted to do? Dissecting kit? Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll take Dissecting kit. And every time that's revealed, I would be able to move my Twi'leksu track up 1. Imperial Shock Troops gets revealed. Not especially interesting to me. But maybe by the time I get in the Shadows, I'll have 2 points on that track. Should I just do it now? Because I've got 2 persuasion left over. You know, using that ability is just too useful because I have Iron Fist. And then with this, I discard a card and I get to bump up the thing. So definitely, yeah, I'm doing it. I've got a huge deck. Normally, opulence. Normally, I don't buy this many cards, but with Lady Jessica helping, and I'm doing pretty good for myself so far, we're going to get into combat phase now. So, yeah, we're going to start with Raban, who's first player. He blanks out. Then we're going to go to, Harkonnen, who's first player. He has the first player check. Now we're going to do Raban, and he also blanks out. I don't have to use blackmail. All right, I win. All right, so what do? I'm going to bump my Emperor track up 1, get a victory point, and take 2 intrigue cards. Private Army for 2 spice and 5. That's good. And ambush for 4. Oh my god, I am primed for combat. I have, look at this. Reinforcements, ambush, private army, blackmail. I'm so ready for fighting. I'm stacked. Okay. All I'm going to need to do now is like take hardy warriors and stuff like that. Now, second place was Harkonnen, who gets an intrigue card. This is his second intrigue card. I'm going to begin just by moving real quick this token down to this guy here, and he gets 1 spice. He's now got 11 spice. Golly. All right, great. That ended up quite well. I like that. His Dreadnought goes to Imperial Basin. We are going to put these agents back where they belong. I'm glad I won that. I didn't have to use anything. Return combat trackers. These all go back. Flip the conflict card. We're getting into the 6th round now. Okay. Trashing a card for me at this point would be good. Once again, I forgot to draw a card with the Mentat. Oh my god. Why? Why? Not only that, I spent money for the Mentat, so I could have drawn 2 cards. Oh, man. Oh, I got to eat the cost. I got to eat it. I made a mistake. A big one. Oh, well. It is what it is. Okay, so... that's a bummer. All right. We're in the 6th round. Roll the Imperium row dice. Anything can go now. I don't really feel too bad about it. 2 and 4. There goes Liet Kynes. I wasn't going to use her anymore anyway. So that's gone. And 4, planned coupling, is now gone out of the game. Man, I'm so bummed out because, you know, okay, clandestine meeting. This card has no agent icons. If you just use it during an agent phase, you get to increase your Bene Gesserit track and get an intrigue card. Okay. Replacement eyes when you graft it. When this card is trashed, you can move your Twi'leksu row, trash a card, draw a card. It's interesting. It's definitely something, but it's not something I want. It doesn't help me in any significant way. Clandestine meeting is interesting. I'm not going to lie about that. Okay. I need to use one of these cards because if I'm not careful, someone's going to go to secrets and steal one from me. So now what do? We put the agents back where they belong, to their home positions. Man, I can't believe I'm still beating myself up for forgetting my benefits. My character ability, you know? Just a bummer. Mentek goes back to his position. Here we go. Lady Jessica. Welcome, Lady Jessica. What will I do? Did I put spice out? I did not put spice out. I know that, let's take a look at the last couple rounds, shall we? Did anybody take one of these desert spaces? I don't think anybody did, so I'm pretty sure everyone. I think Great Flat was the only one that was taken, so I think these two get spice. Forgot to put spice out while the agents were available. Well, it is what it is. Okay, so let's see here. I could, let's see. If I use experimentation, let's say I use experimentation, I go to Imperial Basin, or I could take Haga Basin, get 3 spice, spend a water. Put in a troop. But why? What would I do that for? Putting in a troop now is not super awesome. I need that troop for later. But yeah, I could go to Haga Basin, get 3 spice. And then I could use Lady Jessica, go to selective reading, draw 4 cards, trash out my dagger, move my Bene Gesserit track up 1, and maybe get a Spice Must Flow this game if I'm lucky this round, and get a victory point from that. That would be my 2 moves. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. All right, we just have to hope that these spaces will be available. He's going to go to, the Beast will take Smuggling. Well, actually, let's look at that. Yes, Beast only has 1 point with the Spacing Guild, so he takes Smuggling. He moves himself up 1 here. Now it goes to me. I'm going to use Experimentation and go to Haga Basin, spending 1 of my waters to go to the Haga Basin. And I get to move this tracker. At this point, the question is, okay, hold on. Here, bump myself up 1. Then if I make it here, I can spend 7 Solari. I have 4 now. Maybe the correct thing to do instead of going to Haga Basin is, okay, this is kind of crazy, but instead of going to Haga Basin, I go to Interstellar Shipping and just quickly generate money like Solari, move my tracker here, bump this up 1, then take every opportunity I can to get the researcher, and I wouldn't have to spend that water. So then what I could do is go to, say, research station another round somewhere down the road, and that would bump me up to here, one away from getting that, and then I can get that last victory point, which is essential, I think, right now at least. So instead of taking Haga Basin, yeah, I put back my water. I'm going to use experimentation and go to interstellar shipping instead is what I'm going to do. And yeah, let's do that now. Interstellar shipping, bump myself up 1, take it back down, and get 8 Solari. I just want to have Solari available so that I can... I'm going to put 7 Solari aside just so I don't use it. And I'm going to keep my 5 Solari here for future Mentet space, in which I will draw 2 cards from... Maybe that's the move, you know? Let's see here. Yeah, maybe in the next turn I take Dagger, go to Mentet. Then with the Mentet, go to Secrets, drawing a ton of another Persuasion card, which somebody could steal at any time, one of my Persuasion cards, my precious, precious cards that I need for combat. I would definitely have enough for a Spice Must Flow, I'm sure, if I did that. So yeah, I'm looking okay at this. I like this so far. That's Agent Phase 1. That's my turn. So now we go to Harkonnen, who goes to Selective Breeding. So that option is now off the table anyway. Even if I went to Haga Basin and stuck with my original plan, he does get himself a victory point. So that's moving up 1. Now it goes to the Beast Raban. We go from Agent Phase 1 to Agent Phase 2. He just took Secrets. Oh, man. That really gets me. So what I'm going to do is he's going to get himself an Intrigue card. He has 3 Intrigue cards. 3 Intrigue cards are now gone, and he gets a victory point. And now he's going to shuffle my Intrigue cards, which I don't want to know which one he takes, but I really hope it's not the 3 Solari one, because I want that more than any of them. I don't, at this point, I sincerely don't know which card is which. He's taking that one. Okay, Private Army is gone. He has it. I feel like that's a good trade. Even though I wish I could keep it, I'm happy with that. Okay. It goes back to me now. I will take... so, you know, it's a bummer if you think about it. The thing that's a total bummer is Lady Jessica as an option is not really any good. I could take Dagger. Yeah, I just have to hope that Carthag and Arakeen are still going to be available by the time I get to use this Lady Jessica. I'll take Dagger. Well, let me just think about this. What am I doing this for? Am I hoping to win this conflict? They are not involved in conflict yet. So, you know, but they do still have a few agents. I'm not terribly worried about the Beast. Harkonnen, on the other hand, can do some stuff still. He's got 2 agents left. Doing the Mented space now will do what for me? I suppose I could get into this combat, hopefully get a victory point and trash my Dagger. Would be the best thing to happen. And I'd take the lead, so that's good. Yeah, so... golly, I have all these... Yeah, you know what? I could easily win this conflict, so I might just do that, because I got Blackmail, Reinforcements, Ambush. I wouldn't be able to use Reinforcements anymore, because I'm using my Solari now for the Mentet. But I have Ambush and Blackmail Intrigue cards, so I could kind of overcome this. I feel like I could win this victory. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Take my Dagger and spend 5 Solari. All right, now get a load of this. I'm going to take the Mentet, and I'm going to draw the initial card it allows you to draw. Plus, because I am Count Ilban Reachis, I get to draw an additional card. So that's 2 cards from this space. 1 and 2. Fold space. Okay, cool. That's great. I'll tell you why that's great. Because now, yeah, I can... Okay, so let me just real quick count up where we're at with my persuasion. 5, 6, 7... I'm at 9 persuasion. It's enough for a spice must flow. Now, if I... Yeah, that would not be good. So I might just take fold space and go to Carthag, draw a card, get a troop, get an intrigue card. Because that way I can still buy a spice must flow. That would put me at a pretty good position, and I could trash my... If I win this combat, I would be able to trash a card, that dagger, out. And that would put me in a pretty good lead. I'd have 6 victory points at the end of this round if everything works out correctly. All right. All right. Yeah, and also Lady Jessica gives you 1 extra combat as well. So that's cool. Okay. We're getting into Agent Phase 3. No, Agent Phase 2 still. Here we go. Harvesting spice for this dude. He goes to the Haga Basin and gets 3 spice. And he's got a ton of spice. And he has no troops he can put into combat. And now we're moving on to Agent Phase 3 with the Beast. Hardy Warriors. Oh, man. That's his... Oh, he just took the Alliance token. So he got himself a victory point and a water, which is another victory point. So really quick, I'm going to bump him up 2. Man, he's the guy to beat. He's the guy to beat. It is a combat space. He gets to put 2 troops into combat. That's going to put him at 4 combat points here. That's easily... I could beat that easily, though. So now it goes to my turn. And wouldn't you know it, Carthag is still wide open. I'm going to take my fold space and use it for... Is that the right move, though? Let's think about this. Yeah, I feel like... Yeah. Man, how am I supposed to get to Fremen spaces without fold space? And if I take Lady Jessica, I would get to draw 2 additional cards, but it's too high risk that I would not be at 9 persuasion, which I need for Spice Must Flow. So, yeah, I'm just going to have to do it that way. I'll draw a card. Oh, nice. Experimentation. So that's another specimen in the Oxalotl tank at the end of this round. And that puts me at 10 persuasion. And okay, great. So I'm taking my agent. I told you guys I was putting my Mentat on Carthag. I'm going to put 2 troops into this combat. That puts me at 4, so I'm tied with the Beast. And I get an intrigue card. Second wave, deploy up to 2 units from the garrison to the conflict. Okay, cool. I'll use that, perhaps this round. And now we are going to Vladimir Harkonnen, who takes tech negotiation all the way over here. He can finally buy a tech tile, which he already has 1, but he's going to buy this at a discounted price. So for 3 spice, so he's going to get 2 spice back. He's going to take Chalmurky, and when he buys that, he wins all tiebreakers. He gets 2 intrigue cards for buying that, and he's spending 3 of his total 4 intrigue cards on a victory point. Oh, dude, breakthrough. Anyway, gets himself a victory point right now. Okay, and that guy is gone, goes back to his supply. Good for him. That has been resolved. We are now moving into my reveal phase. At this time, yes, I will bump my tracker up 1 because of Lady Jessica. I will put 2 of my specimens into the axolotl tank. That's awesome. And now that it is my reveal phase, I'm going to spend 3 of my specimen to move my Twi'leksu tracker up 1. That's done. And I will buy a spice must flow here. Put that in my discard pile. Get myself a victory point. And now, this goes over here with this guy. And now what do? We're going into combat phase. It's between me and the beast. So, beast, what do you want to do? Let's see. He bumps up 2. All right, that's awesome because I could just use second wave right now and beat him. 1, 2. And there you have it. Second wave was used. That was my weakest combat card. So with that said, I get a victory point, which puts me exactly where I had planned to be at the end of this round. I can now trash a useless card. I'm going to trash Dagger. It's out of my deck for good. I'm going to move my play area cards to my discard pile. And we are going to now put out Spice. I beg your pardon. I need to give the beast his winnings. He gets a water and Spice. Now we're going to get into the 7th round where the victory points are good. Okay, Spice needs to get onto the field, so the Great Flat gets a Spice, and Imperial Basin gets a Spice. His Dreadnought goes back. Return the combat trackers. Return troops to their supplies. Flip the conflict card. There it is, 2 for the Imperial Basin, which nobody has right now. And before I forget, putting the tracker back to Agent Phase 1. We're in the 7th round. Return the Persuasion tracker back to 2. And roll the Imperium Row dice. 6 and 6, nothing moves. Stay stagnant. Return the agents back to their respective home positions, and I start the next round. Put the Mentet back. Take my agent back. And now the beast puts his agents back. It's a tight game so far. All right, I have 1 card left in my deck, and now I got to reshuffle my discard pile. With a Spice Must Flow now in there, I have to be worried that I could draw it. It would be bad for me, a wasted card. But I am primed still for combat, and I still need to utilize these trackers to get some victory points. So how do I go about doing that? Because that's just low-hanging fruit. That's prime for the taking. Here we go. Okay. All right. Let's see. This card, I wanted to just let it be. So it could be revealed. And if it's revealed, I would just be able to bump my Twi'leksu tracker up 1. You know what's a bummer right now? When I went to interstellar shipping, did I move my researcher track 1? I didn't. I don't know if I did. I don't think I did, and it's my fault for forgetting. I'm not gonna. If I did and I just forgot, I can't give myself a free. I gotta eat it if I forget to move it. It's my fault. I gotta take this L if I lose the game. It's because of something stupid like that. But it is what it is. Okay. It's not a total wash because I'll probably be able to get the Twi'leksu track all the way down if I'm lucky. But I need to think now about how I want to do this combat. I have the Signet Ring. What I could do is I have 2 waters. Hmm. Hmm. All right. One, two, three. So I'm at 6 persuasion, and with Bene Gesserit's sister, a potential 2 more, which would put me at a possible 8. This card needs to sit at the end because I'm going to move it up at the reveal phase, my relaxer tracker. This will also need to be used at the end so I can put a specimen in the oxalotl tank, which leaves me with these 3 options. Reconnaissance, Bene Gesserit's sister, and Signet Ring. And Bene Gesserit's sister could come in handy for combat points, so I'll put her there. And that leaves me with these 2 cards for this round. Signet Ring, I could go to right out of the gates. I could go to a Rakeen, draw a card, get a troop, put it in. And, you know, I could win this combat by merely using my intrigue cards. So I feel like that's good for me. So drawing a card right now is what's important. And yeah, I do think that's what I'm going to do. And if possible, in Agent Phase 2, I might take Research Station and bump my tracker over here and do what with it? Take that final victory point is what I'll do. And that means, by the way, I don't need to worry about the 7 Solari. So if I don't need to worry about 7 Solari, then maybe the correct move is to, well, I need 3 Solari of my 7 to use reinforcements, so I can't go to Mentet. Unless when I use my Signet Ring, actually, I get an extra Solari, so I can take the Mentet. So Mentet would allow me to draw another card and potentially draw another Spice Must Flow. I mean, things could work out that way. Okay, because if I go to Mentet, I get to draw 2 cards, and I'm drawing a card here, so that's 3 cards in 1 round. Plus, if I go to Research Station, that's 2 additional cards, so I'll definitely have enough for a Spice Must Flow. Okay, it's looking interesting. Things have to play out, of course. But yeah, so to begin, Signet Ring. Let's do that. Signet Ring to a Rakeen. I'll get 2 Solari. Here, I'll get a Solari, plus my Signet Ring ability allows me to get a Solari. So I'm now sitting at 9 Solari. I generate a troop. I put it in the combat. I draw a card. Okay, there's your Spice Must Flow right here. So I'm at 8. Yeah, that's definitely going to happen now. That's what I drew. And we move on to Harkonnen. He harvests spice. Man, this guy loves his spice. Something fierce. He's got more than he can shake a stick at. All right. There's your spice, buddy. He is in combat, so his Dreadnought gets in there, and he puts him at 3 combat points. Now we go to the Beast. He will take his first Dreadnought of the game. Right here. He has enough spice to buy something. He will buy, well, let's first just give him a Dreadnought. It doesn't go into combat, but he will spend 2 spice on Sonic Snoopers, and that lets him get a intrigue card. Man, I'm running out of space over here, so I'll just put this right there. And his intrigue card goes here. He's sitting at 2 intrigue cards now. He's doing pretty good for himself. I'm definitely concerned about him. He's tied with me right now. Okay, so now it goes back to my turn. And yeah, I wanted to take the Mentet space. And so Bene Gesserit's sister is going to get used to go to the Mentet space. And I'm going to spend 5 Solari. And because I'm doing that, I get to draw not 1, but 2 cards out of that exchange. I already have a Spice Must Flow. Yeah, I feel like, well, you never know what benefits I could get from revealing cards. Well, no. This is actually important. I'm going to take back my 5 Solari. I'm going to move back my person, move the Mentet back. I haven't drawn my cards yet. I'm just going to think this through one more minute because I'm all right. I am at right now. Right now, I am sitting at 8 persuasion. And if I use Bene Gesserit's sister in my reveal phase, that would put me at 9 persuasion. I could get Spice Must Flow. Drawing cards from the Mented space would do nothing for me. Because I already have enough for a Spice Must Flow, and all remaining persuasion does nothing for me. And the cards that I haven't drawn yet, I need. So I don't want to do that, actually. Yeah, instead what I could do, and I have enough at this point where I could win this combat with 1 troop alone. As crazy as that sounds, I feel like 5 plus 4 plus reinforcements is 3 additional troops. So yeah, it's looking okay for me. I will take reconnaissance actually and move my character to the research station and spend, there's 2 cards again that I need, but I would have an ability to move this here. Yeah, that's what I was going for that victory point. So yeah, drawing 2 cards, big whoop. Okay, I'll draw 2 cards. I was hoping to get that. Oh man, these 2 cards I could have used, but all right. So I definitely have enough for 1, 2, 3, a Spice Must Flow. But what's really sad is Firm Grip is no longer an option for me. And I needed that to bump myself up on these 2 tracks. Shucks. I was hoping to use it for a Mentet space too. Oh well, it is what it is. That's okay. So I will now bump this up 1, come over here, get an intrigue card, and at the start of your turn, draw a card. I can use that anytime I want. Yeah. Alrighty then. Let's just make sure everything is in proper order for my reveal phase. And now we're moving forward. That was Agent Phase 2, and so now we're moving on to Harkonnen. We will take a Rakeen, who cannot do that because I'm at a Rakeen. He's going to take Selective Breeding. And what does that do for him? It just bumps the tracker up 1. That's it. Now we go to the Beast. He cannot go to Research Station. I went there, so he's taking Carthag. When he goes to Carthag, he generates himself a troop and he puts it into combat along with his Dreadnought. That puts him at 5 combat points. He's going to get to move this green tracker, up 1. And he excommunicates the Twi'leksu Infiltrator card and reveals for us Carino Jeans. If it's grafted, you can bump up your Twi'leksu tracker, so I don't need that. All right, so he's done his turn now. He goes to me for my reveal turn. So here's what I want to do really quick is Lady Jessica and Bene Gesserit's sister allow me to increase my combat by 3 points. So I'm going to do that. 1, 2, 3. And then with this card revealed, I can now bump this up 1 and get a victory point. I no longer have to worry about the Twi'leksu track, so that's done. I can put a specimen in the Oxalotl tank. And that's all she wrote for my reveal phase, except I still have to buy a Spice Must Flow, which will return me back. I just put it back to 2. I'll buy a Spice Must Flow, put it in my discard pile, and get a victory point. If I win this combat, game over, I win. And it's looking good for me. It's my reveal phase, so I will use reinforcements because I desperately want to win now. I'm going to spend 3 Solari, and I forgot to do so many things that would have been beneficial for me. Here we go. Put 3 troops into combat. 2, 4, 6. I'm at 11 combat now. Okay, it's looking good. Let's move on to Agent Phase 3 for Harkonnen, who, aw, dang, he goes the Highliner. He gets himself a victory point. And let's give him that victory point for the Alliance token, and he generates 3 troops which go directly into combat. Uh-oh. He's giving me a run for my money. 2, 4, 6. He's at 9. Oh, man. All right. All right, the Beast. What do you want to do? You cannot go to Arrakeen. You cannot go to Carthag. You can go to Fold Space, but he actually, that's all he can do is go to Fold Space. He gets himself a victory point. And now we're going to get into combat. So let's move it on down here. Well, right out of gates, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I desperately need to win this to end the game. So blackmail, I'm going to bump down my tracker here to get 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's been used. I'm pretty sure at this point I've won, but I might as well just use this now because the game's going to be over. Ambush for 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, great, wonderful. All of my intrigue cards have been used. I have a commanding lead. I'm at 20 combat points. These guys are not going to be able to take me. So Harkonnen bumps himself up 3, 1, 2, 3. And the Beast bumps himself up 1, 2, 3. Let's do a extreme mode. Give them an additional 1. He blanks out, and he gets 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, I just went extreme dreadnought style or whatever they call it, just for the fun of it. But yeah, so 5 spice goes to, they tied, so they get nothing. But I get 2 victory points, which puts me at 1, 2, 10, and a flag on the Imperial Basin. So that's it for me. I've won the game. I never got to nuke out the Imperium Row. I just didn't consider it. At a certain point, I didn't need any more cards. You know, it's interesting. I didn't even move my Bene Gesserit track or my Fremen track once. I never utilized any of these 4 spaces. And come to think of it, I never utilized any Emperor spaces. I had, if I recall, I think I bumped that up artificially through some other mechanism on this side of the board, either from buying Lady Jessica or winning a combat. That's right. I won a combat that allowed me to move a tracker. I think I moved Spacing Guild, actually, when I won that. Or maybe, no. I did, in fact, move the Emperor track so I could be done with it. I remember saying that. So yeah, that was awesome. So I had artificially increased this up by 2 to get the free victory point. And I had, yeah, I think this was a good game. I'm happy with the win. I took a pretty commanding lead. So I'm happy with myself. This was a good game, and there were some hairy moments. It didn't feel as though I was left in the dust as bad as I have been in games past, at least on this channel. I felt in control the entire game. So that's pretty cool. I'm happy with the way it went. With that being said, that's all she wrote for Game 7 at Kwisatz Haderach level difficulty. I win again. That's 3 out of 2 Kwisatz Haderach level difficulty games I've played so far. I think that I've won. I think I have, 3 wins, 2 losses. I played 5 at this level. And with that being said, please subscribe to this channel if you like playing Dune Imperium. Join the conversation. get in touch with me. We'll play Dune Digital, and we can talk about this game. Coming down the road, I'd just like to say, in the mail right now, I have new dice, I have new trackers, new things to look forward to, and yet again, I'm still saving for a computer to increase the visual experience. Make sure that the definition of the camera is going to be super high def, and this will look better, and I'll be able to use editing, and it's just going to be a better product once I get a computer. So that's just coming down the road. I have to save the money, of course, and talk to my pal who's helping me. He's sort of a sponsor in a way. He's sort of an investor. He's helping me get all these things together. So with him on my side as a teammate, we're going to be able to produce a high quality Dune Imperium channel where I'll be playing this game all the time. Anyways, with that being said, I really appreciate your time watching me play Game 7 with the win. Peace out. Have yourself a great rest of your day. Bye.